You are not alone. The worst thing about death is not the idea of one's own. The bad thing is letting go of other people, loved ones. Many of us have already had to say goodbye to our loved ones, sometimes without any warning and without any indication. The spiritual world is convinced that death is not the end. Rather, it marks a kind of transition to another world. Most religions assume that this world is better than ours. In this sense, we can actually rejoice when someone is finally able to embark on this journey. Nevertheless, we sometimes miss our deceased so painfully that it is almost unbearable. Wouldn't it be a nice comfort to know that they are not really gone from us? Those who can believe in eternal life will never die. The veil between the earthly and the afterlife is thinner than one might think, and many a soul finds its way back into our world. How you can recognize that a deceased person is still very close to you, we will tell you in our podcast today. If you are not yet part of our great community, we invite you now to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any exciting posts. Number 1. Someone is calling for you. Do you sometimes hear your name but there is no one in sight? Don't be afraid. You don't have to doubt your sanity. Many people who have recently lost someone to death experience this. Whether we truly and genuinely perceive this calling, or if our subconscious is playing a trick on us, is hard to say. In any case, feel reassured if this happens to you. A good spirit has your best interests at heart. Number 2. Certain objects keep falling into your hands. There are no coincidences, and when it comes to life and death, certainly not. What remains of a human life are their material possessions, and, of course, the traces that someone leaves in our thoughts and feelings. If it often happens that you keep holding personal items like jewelry, clothing, or household items of your deceased without any valid reason, it is also a way to convey a message to you. Number 3. You are convinced that this person is with you. This circumstance can neither be proven nor disproven. The fact is, numerous people can swear by anything that they can still feel their relatives even after their death. It is as if they are standing next to them in the room or have taken a seat at the table with the family, like in the good old days. Don't let yourself be declared crazy if you feel the same way. Some souls can manifest themselves in such a way that we can truly and genuinely feel them. Number 4. Lights flicker. Electronic devices give up their spirits. One of the most well-known phenomena when it comes to ghosts are electromagnetic disturbances. Light sources and other electrical devices attract our attention with strange noises or clearly visible fluctuations in the power supply. For ages, spiritual circles have agreed that only a large amount of energy can be responsible for such phenomena, and ghosts or souls are essentially nothing more than bundled matter contributing here. Number 5. You often find white feathers. They are the ultimate sign from above and are considered a direct message from our guardian angels. Whoever finds white feathers on their path can always rejoice. They mean everything will be fine. Many people therefore believe that they can also symbolize a message from dear deceased ones. It is certainly a good sign when you see white feathers. A higher power has a watchful eye on you, and the idea is, of course, especially beautiful and comforting that our deceased are also watching over us from heaven or their new world. Number 6. A song or melody evokes memories. Music and love have one thing in common. They are languages that everyone understands and that are spoken all over the world. A melody, a song, a certain sequence of tones and rhythms can connect our subconscious in an instant with a specific event or a certain person. If you hear these melodies repeatedly, a soul might want to contact you through this medium. Number 7. Scents and smells suddenly remind you of that person. Even faster than music can trigger our subconscious, scents and smells do so in a fraction of a second. They retrieve the corresponding memories, and we immediately know what's happening. The range here is endless. Apple pie that takes us back to childhood, a perfume that was the signature scent of a certain person in our lives, or the smell of freshly washed laundry that immediately triggers a nostalgic time travel to a very specific person. Number 8. This person appears in your dreams. The most important platform to connect with the deceased are our dreams. There, everything is allowed and nothing is forbidden. Souls have easy play with our perception because the censorship of our strict consciousness takes a break during sleep. If you repeatedly dream of dear deceased ones, it is a good sign. They do not necessarily announce the death of another person. Sometimes they just want to remind themselves or let you know in this way that they are still there for you. Our conclusion today: those who live on in our memory live forever. Do not be afraid if sometimes there are ghosts in your life. The spirits of the dead are benevolent towards us and do not intend to harm us. Most of the time, however, they have a good reason for crossing the threshold of death and defying its decree. They want to warn us, comfort us, or provide support in difficult times. If you feel close to your loved ones, even though they are no longer among the living, then they are certainly not far from you. Memory keeps people alive, and every time we talk about them, it is as if they were still among us. You absolutely need not fear visitors from the afterlife. Be grateful and happy for this supernatural support, especially in times of crisis. Any help is welcome. Thank you very much for listening, and see you soon.